Hi there, I'm Lillian. Just Lillian. I'm not a psychologist or a theologian. I haven't been to Bible college or any place that might give me some kind of credentials that separate me out as especially holy in knowledge. Who I am is a survivor. I'm a sister in Christ who believed all the Christian teachings on marriage and lived them out. I ended up trapped in an abusive marriage for almost 34 years, not even realizing it was abuse. That last phrase, not even realizing it was abuse, isn't something to brush aside the way I did for so many years. If your marriage has lots of conflict, it might be the key to understanding your own situation. Through that journey, I've accumulated some interesting and some disturbing knowledge about how wolves in sheep's clothing can stay hidden in marriage and even thrive within the Christian community and churches. This clip is taken from my main video titled Function versus Emotions: How Understanding This Difference Can Save Your Marriage. You can find the link for that in the description box and at the end of the video. A woman can only experience that increased rush of her version of the 90% testosterone when the masculine cleaves to her feminine. All that desire for sex has to be created through our feelings and emotions. Experiencing masculine cleaving is a requirement. It's not a wish or an option or a request. It's a biological necessity in order to keep your feminine healthy. But what has happened is that almost all Christian teaching on marriage has reframed sexuality to be a functional role for wives instead of it being the culmination of a one-flesh relationship. Their perspective is identical to Nike's motto, just do it. See, this is masculine thinking. Men can have sex with anyone, relatively speaking. He doesn't have to even like a female or be attracted to her, and he can have sex with her. And the proof of that is the porn addiction is primarily a male problem. And I'm not talking about whether he should or in any sense of morality. I'm just speaking in terms of human biology. The aggression in testosterone is rather indiscriminate. Estrogen's befriend and tend does not work that way. Women are very discriminating because we've got so much estrogen. But Christianity has completely neglected this huge biological and polarity difference in favor of making a female live her entire existence in marriage through the functional role of a wife. The shepherds have done untold damage to the daughters of God, and they've neutered her emotions and feelings through invalidation, and they've masculinized her heart. But worse than that is the impact of living in a fallen, savage world, completely unguarded, unprotected, and untaught. In part 3, I had said that almost all Christian marriage teaching has sent women the unspoken message that once she gets married, her feminine characteristics as a woman, all of her emotions and feelings become less significant, and what becomes important are aspects such as respect and submission and fulfilling the duties within the role of a wife. Conversely, there's no similar emphasis on the relevance of masculinity for husbands. In fact, after marriage, the husband is pictured above the wife in their hierarchical structure. So what happens is that the reality of her sex becomes an echo of the man's. The outcome and primacy of the marriage is now that the masculine desire is the need for sex. What the female needs in order for her body to respond with sex is exchanged for duty. And her desire is not her need anymore. Her desire is now supposed to be his demand. Without that relationship connection that is supposed to happen during cleaving as a prelude to intercourse, A woman's desire for sex is not kindled, and it cannot be. Her feminine need, her desire is disappeared underneath his demand, and her feminine need, her due benevolence, is circumvented into an obligation of a single act of duty in response to the husband's demand. When we interpret 1 Corinthians 7 in only one way, the masculine interpretation, it's disingenuous. God knows there's two different polarities here because he's the one who created them. God doesn't mean there's only one action here. There isn't just one act of intercourse. There's two completely different creature needs here. Rendering to the wife is the ongoing process of cleaving to her. That's what the word do means. It's the word aphilo. It's giving with the idea of accruing for yourself. Doesn't that sound a lot like how a husband is supposed to love himself through loving his wife? God is saying, if you, husband, are always cleaving to your wife, it will accrue to you so that whenever you want sex, her body will respond.